Yeah, but first, are you up to date on your shots? If you're not up to date on your tea shots, it is time we get a little vitamin T. It's Teresa Tomeo. Good morning, Teresa.
Hi, good morning, Buongiorno from Bella Italia. We're heading back to the States on Saturday. We're both kind of a little sad, but
Yeah.
very grateful. It's really hard to leave. Let me tell you, sunflowers everywhere. It's just so stinking gorgeous here. I can't stand it. Well, I can. That's why I want to stay.
Forgive us if we smile at you when we see you in person, even if you're crying. We're going to be very glad to have you back in the area, but I can imagine it's difficult to head home.
It is, and especially we decided to extend our stay this time. Normally we come home in June, but last year we left and the sunflowers weren't out yet. They're my absolute favorite girasole, and now I'm telling you, you should go on my Facebook page. I took so many pictures of sunflowers. I'm sending them everywhere to everybody. I think my friends are getting a little bit annoyed because I just keep taking pictures. We went to the grocery store this morning, and I'll walk right outside our village. And actually, in our own little backyard here, there's just popping all over the place. But they make me smile because they remind me of Jesus because they're always facing the sun. So there you go.
Gotta love it. And look, we know that you are the expert on all things when it comes to Italy, all the wonderful projects that you've done to bring Italy home to all of us. But you've got a great look, and you know that you're one of my favorite people in the world. The other one, or one of the other ones, is Dr. Bunsen, and the two of you are getting together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like a dynamite team right there to bring about a very, very special pilgrimage, papal pilgrimage.
Yes, it's coming up next October of 2026, and we call our pilgrimages Mindamo Dolce Fide, the sweetness of faith. And so Matthew Bunsen and his lovely wife Bonnie are going to be joining us, and we are going to be traveling in the footprints of the popes. Of course, Matt just wrote that great book about Pope Leo,
Right.
and we're going to be going to cities associated with the popes, of course, obviously Rome, but we're going to do some really special things. We're going to be getting inside the secret passageway between Castel San Angelo and St. Peter's, which is just reopened. We're also going to be going to the barracks of the Swiss Guards. We're going to be going to the Turbo, the city of the popes, and going in the place where they had the first conclave, up to Arezzo, which is also a very important city to the papacy. And we're going to be going to Orvieto, and we are going to be joined by a wonderful Dominican priest from EWTN, Father Petri. And, of course, he's going to talk about Thomas Aquinas and all the writings Thomas Aquinas gave us on the Eucharist when we're in Orvieto. And we're hopefully going to be stopping by our place to host groups if we can squeeze it into our schedule. So, yeah, it's next October. And you can go call Corporate Travel. They're ready to take phone calls right now. ctscentral.net is the website. And we're so excited. So next October with Dr. Matthew Bunsen and yours truly.
My goodness, it just gets better and better.
We try to offer different itineraries. And I think with Matthew being a church expert on church history and then me being an expert on Italy, living here half the year, I think we bring a unique perspective, and so I'll be talking about, a lot of the time we'll be in Umbria in central Italy, a little bit in Tuscany, but I'll be talking about the influence of the popes and the saints on this particular region, especially St. Francis and St. Clare, and also we'll be pretty close. We're not going to Siena, but we'll be close to Siena. So there's a lot for both of us, I think, to add to this. We're really, really excited. It's going to be I think it's going to be a great team.
Let's stay with Castel Gandolfo for just a minute. It's in the news right now. Everybody's talking about it because
Right.
Pope Leo has decided to take his summer vacation there. Pope Francis had not done that. A museum, in the meantime, has been raised up there. That's still there, by the way. But Pope Leo now going to be there for a summer vacation. Tell us what is so special about that place. Why the popes have found it a place of rest over these years.
Well, it's a really beautiful location. It's only about 30 minutes, less than that, really. You can take a cute little train from behind the Vatican, but if you drive there, it'll take you less than 30 minutes. And it's on a hill, a small mountain, I would say. It's more like a hill compared to the mountains around the area, but it sits on top of a volcanic lake called Lake Albano, and so it's very cool and comfortable. And there's so many different flowers and types of vegetation. And the town itself, Castel Gandolfo, is just lovely. It has a beautiful main piazza and also has lovely restaurants. You can dine al fresco and places you can go to sit and look down at the water. And if you're into water activities, they do have some availability. There's more activity, I would say, up in Lago di Bracciano, which is just north of Rome, or Tresemino or Bolsena, but there's a little bit of sporting activity, and you can at least eat by the water in Lake Albano. But it's just beautiful. I mean, and it's kind of, if you feel like you're far away from Rome, but again, if you only have a limited amount of time, I tell people if they're vacationing in Italy in the summer that that's a place you want to visit because you do get that cool breeze from the lake, and plus you're above, and the views are just, just spectacular. And then you have a whole set of Vatican gardens that are right behind Castle Gandolfo, the actual papal palace, in addition to the Vatican gardens that are behind St. Peter's in Rome. And those you can tour, and it's really, really beautiful. So I certainly understand why they chose it. In that area around Albano, which is a beautiful place for white wine, for Frascati region, the hill towns around Rome are gorgeous. So, yeah, I totally understand why they wanted to vacation there. And I'm glad he's doing it again because it's an easier way for the people to see him because the square is much smaller. So if you go there for the Sunday Angelus or during the week, if he's going to be doing something, he won't be doing an audience until after August, but if he has any type of event, you can get a lot closer to him than you would in St. Peter's.
So is Castle Gandolfo, is that a situation where he is does he set scheduled events at his location that he comes out and people get to see him then? Or how do people know?
Well, usually everything is already on the website, on the Vatican website, what he's doing, especially any type of papal addresses. But the audience messages are suspended during July and most of August. Now, he will be doing the Angelus. I'm not sure if he's going to be coming back to St. Peter's. He might be coming back to St. Peter's for that. But sometimes, if you remember, when Benedict was there, he did do the Angelus message from the Little Loggia in the Papal Palace in Castle Gandolfo. So it just depends. But I always tell people the best thing to do is to check the Vatican website, and it's really updated. It looks really, really nice. It's a little bit easier to navigate. So go to Vatican.va and go to the Prefect of the Papal Household page, which is all self-explanatory once you get there. But it gives you where the Pope is going to be, what his schedule is, so it's pretty easy to follow.
So, Teresa, they said that they were so happy he was coming back there because it's really a kind of a boon for their little economy there. What kind of things other things do people engage in when they go there? That you said the Vatican Gardens, but what kind of are there shops or things like that really see a difference when he's there?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's a number of restaurants. Now, it's a pretty town anyway, and it's very close to Frascati, as I mentioned, which is another very popular town, that area, which is famous for its white wine. But really, Castle Gandolfo, in terms of getting the big support, having the Pope there makes all the difference. So they do have some very lovely shops with local crafts and also religious goods stores with different images and items. Obviously, now it'll be Pope Leo. They'll probably have, I would think, items that still in remembrance of Pope Francis and even Pope Benedict and John Paul II. But I would say the restaurants and the shopping and the little wine stores and just the atmosphere there. There's also the smallest post office, one of the first post offices in the world. It's in my book, actually. It's in Castle Gandolfo. But you know what's nice about it, Pat, is if you go to Castle Gandolfo, you don't have to just go there. You could go to the other hill towns and just kind of have a nice day. You could start out in Castle Gandolfo and maybe travel over to Frascati, get some porchetta, grab some white wine, and then head back to Rome. That's what's so great. It's so close to Rome. And with all the tourists that are in Rome, it's a nice overflow for that area, especially if the Pope's going to be there.
Do they have a lot of places you can stay around in Castle Gandolfo, or do most people go from Rome there?
Most people go from Rome, but in Castle Gandolfo itself, it's small, but around the area, there's all kinds of what we say agriturismos, which are like a B&B, but they usually have a farm or an olive grove or a winery, and they're very pretty, and they incorporate those things into your stay there. So it's a lovely area. I highly recommend it. Easy to stay there for a couple of days. Get yourself lost in the hills.
While he is there, his schedule becomes a little less, right? He does get a little bit of a respite. Not you, Teresa. You're heading back to the United States. I know you've got some talks coming up. How in the world do people keep up with everything you've got going on if they want to catch you somewhere?
Yeah, just go to teresatomeo.com. Things stays in the events page. I've got 2 events coming up in Michigan and southeast Michigan in the first weekend of September, as a matter of fact. Actually, the second week of September. But yeah, looking forward to it.
Terrific.
Can't wait to get you back. Thank you, Teresa.
Little vitamin T this morning. Ciao.